So it's a really exciting day for me as my motorcycle in a box showed up today. So just in case you're wondering, they don't just stuff one of these motorcycles in the back of an Amazon van. It's brought in on a truck and it's a scheduled delivery. And then they do use a motorized pallet to take the bike wherever you want. So inside this box contains the Hawk 250. I really hope I don't regret this. So of course the motorcycle has some assembly required. And so I'm gonna work on getting all the pieces laid out and see what it's gonna take for me to get this thing put together. So of course I've never set one of these up before. They sent an instructional DVD with the bike, so hopefully this is of some help.
Remove all bolts, fix the package frame, black cable tie of front wheel under top of package frame.
I had a little bit of trouble installing the front wheel because it seemed like the brake disc wouldn't go into the caliper, and later on I figured out what it was, and I'll show that later on in the video. Because of where I positioned the bike on the jack, I'm not going to be able to put this spring in place. So I don't know if they just didn't come up with a good way to explain how to install the trigger for the mechanism to light up the back light whenever you depress the back brake. But what you have to do is take off the little rubber cover and then unscrew the first plastic nut and stick that little assembly through the bracket, put the plastic nut back on, put the little rubber piece on, and then push that rubber piece back and it'll expose the end of that cable, and then you hook that little spring to the cable and then to the back brake. Otherwise this thing just sits there and bounces around. And I'm sure this is going to need to be adjusted as well. things are kind of hidden in here. Okay, there's all of our connections. Wiring the lights, the turn signals, and the digital display is pretty straightforward. Just some of these wires are really difficult to get to. And don't get scared, you are going to have to get a little bit aggressive with this plastic, kind of bend it to where it needs to go. I did like that the turn signal brackets are flexible just in case I ever lay this thing down. I'm going to take it off road as much as possible, and maybe if I get goofing around or something and up on my side, hopefully these turn signals won't break off. These grommets on the front fender are a little bit of a pain. So I'm a 41-year-old man and I kind of want to be treated like an adult. So I was a little bit frustrated how they put some of the warning stickers right on the front fender. Kind of figured some of those warnings should just go in the owner's manual, but maybe people don't read those often enough. But I kind of think that that ruins some of the aesthetics of the bike. So actually one of the most difficult things for me to install is this stupid handlebar pad. I tried to get it tight so it wouldn't spin around, but I didn't have much luck. Just kind of sits there and wobbles around a little bit, but I guess it is what it is at this point. One of the things I didn't mention in the video was how to put this guard over the muffler. So I'm going to go ahead and get that into place. I'm gonna get the battery out, get the battery charging. So it looks like the battery is only about 50% charged, so I'm gonna let this thing get charged up and go work on the brake system. The brake cable came pinched in a crate, and thank goodness the line is still intact. And the brake bracket that holds the pads in place was also messed up. And if you buy one of these and there are any defects or broken parts, then what they want you to do is make a short video explaining what's wrong and then email the video to them. This page that comes with a bike has all the instructions of what is needed to make a video claim and get the proper replacement parts. So the things I'm going to make a video of are the brake system and then of course the light. I have no problem going ahead and gluing the cover back on here. I just want to make sure that it's not going to cause any issues just as far as it being waterproof or anything. And then the only other issue that I saw is that right here this is pretty scratched up, so I'm gonna see if they'll do anything. If not, and whatever. But it is getting late, so hopefully tomorrow I can get after making a video of the braking system, get that sent to them, and I'll give you an update on what they say. It's day 2 of the bike assembly, although it's really about day 8, just because I had to take some time off. Kind of made me sad. I got busy with stuff, couldn't finish getting this thing put together. But hopefully today it's gonna be put together and running. So as I've been putting the bike together, I've noticed a few different things that maybe aren't tight, that you're really gonna have to go over the bike and kind of do a once over, make sure everything's tightened up. Right here, like this cable is loose, and there's just some little things like that that weren't in the video that wasn't like, oh hey, you know, we were kind of slacking off the factory and just kind of threw this together. So you're really gonna have to go over this entire bike, make sure everything's tight and adjusted properly. I did get the battery charged up. I just want to test it and make sure it's showing the proper voltage. So yeah, about 12, almost 13 volts, so we're good there. I'm gonna put a little bit of dielectric grease on the terminals when I hook up the battery. So as I said earlier, the front wheel was pretty difficult to install because there was something messed up with the brake caliper. And so I'm going to show you what's going on here. So this is what I was dealing with. See how the pad, this inside pad would be on the inside. It won't really move. So I'm going to go ahead and take these Allen screws out. And I think those are just the connecting rods. So I'll just pull those rods out that these pads slide against, and I'll see if I can get that to slide better. So I did call these little pins connecting rods, which I shouldn't have done because some master mechanic's gonna give me crap about it. So I don't know what you call these, slide pins, I don't know what they call them. Never owned a street type bike before. So everything in there looks good. Everything looks good with the caliper. I'm gonna maybe clean this up a little bit. It looks like there's some scratches on there. So I'm gonna clean this up and maybe put a little bit of brake grease on it and then see where it goes from there. So I figured out what the problem was. One of these little tabs in there is bent over. So you have to actually put a little bit of pressure down on that metal. That kind of holds the brake pad in place, and that little piece right there is bent over. So I'm going to bend that back, and then this thing should have no problem going together. So I don't really know what to think about this. So according to the sight glass, it's basically like right at the low mark, but then on the dipstick, all the hash marked is completely covered in oil. So I don't know which one's which. So maybe put in the comments which one we should go by, here or here. So the last thing I need to do is pull the valve cover off and check the valves. If you were to buy this from a dealer, I guess they probably would have done this already. They would take care of this for you, so you could just drive it off the lot. But since I'm the one putting this together, I'm the one that has to do it. So I'm going to take out this bolt and the other two bolts on the other side. They're 10 millimeters. And then use the feeler gauge and check both valves, both the intake and the exhaust valve. And then put it back together. Hopefully they'll be okay. Regarding the valve clearances, in the owner's manual it says 0.5 millimeter or 0.05 millimeters to 0.07 millimeters, and it doesn't specify one for the exhaust, one for the intake. So I'm just going to make sure that they're both around 0.06 and go with that. If anybody can put anything in the comments, anybody that knows anything about this, that'd probably be good for anybody who buys one of these bikes. I've read anything from 0.04 for the intake, and then maybe like 0.06 for the exhaust, and like vice versa, and all kinds of stuff. So anybody knows where they can find a manual, or if anybody knows what knockoff engine this is, that'd be great to know too. So I'm not going to go over everything on how to adjust the valves. I know how to do it, but there's guys on YouTube that have made some great videos on this, so I'm not going to make another one. Just go watch their videos because they actually do a really good job. So I took it out, rode around a little bit, and all I can say is no buyer's remorse yet. So in the next video, I'm gonna go through how to title register and how to kind of buy insurance on this, because it's a little bit different. There's no problems with buying insurance, but it's a little bit different. So I'm gonna go through the entire process of what we did to get this thing road legal, and we'll see you in the next video.